Elizabeth Ryan, coming to you from NAEM's Measuring Corporate Sustainability Conference. I'm standing here with Sandy Nessing, Managing Director of Sustainability for American Electric Power. Sandy, you told a really interesting story in one of the sessions today about how AEP got started with integrated reporting. Tell me a little bit, reprise that story for those who weren't here, and tell us a little bit about how this kind of rose to the top of the priority for your company.
It all started with the shareholder resolution back in 2004, and it always comes back to the investor. There was a shareholder resolution asking the company about how it was managing its emissions risk. The board set up what amounted to a stakeholder team to produce a report and say, okay, here's what the risk is and here's what we're going to do about it. Fast forward 2 years, realized that we weren't really tracking what we were doing or not doing, and said, you know, given the environment around us from our public policy, climate change, all the other issues that we were facing, it was time to broaden our horizons and kind of look at the company and the landscape more holistically. So we started reporting our non-financial performance, which is what we're really talking about, in addition to the financial. The financials were all covered in the 10Ks and the SEC filings, but nobody was talking about how we're managing our environmental risks and what our public policy positions were, climate change, and so that's how we got our start. So a couple of years go by, and I was wondering, and I've been watching all the research and the trends, and you know, it's all moving towards integrated reporting, and I went to our investor relations group and I said, when you go to meet with analysts, what do you bring with you? The annual report to shareholders or the corporate sustainability report? And they told me that they were not taking the annual report, they were taking the sustainability report. And the reason was because of the detail and the depth of the information that we were reporting on our environmental performance and climate change. And that's what interested the investors. So we started talking about, well, maybe it's time to start moving in that direction because let's give them what they want. And we made a business case for it, took it to management, and started integrating our reporting in 2010, and we just published our second integrated report at the end of April.
Excellent. It sounds like telling a company's story is a really important part to making sure that their commitments are well understood. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely would agree with that. We report according to GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, and I tell people that that's just the data, that's not the whole story. You've got to tell the story, so you put the context around the data, which is telling your story about why are these material issues, why should somebody care about it. So yeah, it's very important to tell the story. I tell my team, show me, don't tell me, all the time, and I will push back. You're telling me, show me, and that's really what it's all about. I can say that we improved our safety performance, and I can tell you that. But if I tell you how we did it and the steps that we took, that's showing you. You can actually see what we did. That's the difference.
And to the issue of materiality, how does that play in what you decide to report to the public in your sustainability report?
We, again, subscribe to the GRI focus on materiality, and I think it's a great guideline for companies to use because it really helps you determine what is material. And for us, you know, we put a team together internally to try to figure out what those issues were, and we check the relevance of those every year. So it's something that can affect the bottom line, can affect the environment, can affect people, can affect, you know, those who are influencing or can influence our business. And you know, we said, okay, so what are those issues? It's climate change, it's environmental performance, it's energy security and reliability of growth, it's our workforce, it's stakeholder engagement, and that's a process, not an issue. But we made it one of our material issues because we didn't know how to do it very well, really at all. And we thought that that is how we're going to get to where we want to go, is engaging our stakeholders. So we keep that on the front burner all the time, even though it's a process and not an issue.
Interesting. So now you actually have become one of the leaders in some of these areas, interestingly enough, from a place where you kind of were walking through the
yeah, absolutely.
Now, as far as today goes, can you talk to me a little bit about some of the key takeaways for you or some of the key learnings you'll take back with you to your company?
For me, the biggest takeaway was that some of these research firms are very interested in talking and working with companies and not just throwing surveys at us. And that to me is very important because sometimes it just feels like we're just being flooded with answer this question, answer that survey, and no two surveys and no two questions are alike. They're all different. So there's no uniform way, and we have to figure out what's important and what's not. And we can do that, but it's but knowing that there is a partner and somebody willing to partner with us and work with us and help us understand why it's important to them, and then help us understand what we get back in return. So, I learned, in addition to that working relationship potential, I also learned that I can start asking those questions. What are you going to do with this? And what do I get out of this? And so those are important questions to be asking, because these are resource-intensive surveys that we get. And so we need to be able to filter that and know that we've got somebody who can work with us. And those are the two big takeaways for me.